Namaskar. I Shambhavi welcome you all to your channel Galactic Echoes. So let's start exploring the wisdom of Vedic astrology. So today we'll be doing a very important topic in Vedic astrology, that is how to decode Mahadashas in your life. How you will be able to predict what kind of Mahadasha you are running into and what kind of results you should expect out of it. Now there are many techniques you can use, like if you are running in the Venus's Dasha and your Venus is sitting in a certain sign, in a certain house, in Navamsha, but that is a hectic process. What I will tell in this video today is a technique which I use and I have been using since the starting of my astrology journey, and I use it today as well. Now, to make it more easier, I would explain it in the beginning and then we'll go one by one. We'll discuss each of the karakas. So the technique goes like that: whatever Mahadasha you are running into, note that planet. It can be anyone: Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, anyone. Alright, and then you jump onto the Gemini 8 Charkarakas system. Now what is this system? See, so there is this Charkaraka system in the Gemini astrology where the planets are categorized into different Charkarakas based on their particular degrees. For example, a planet which has highest degree, like closer to 30 degree in your chart, maybe 29, 28, 24, 21 degrees, is your Atmakaraka. And the planet with the lowest degree, say 0 degree, 1 degree, 2 degree, is your Dharakaraka. There are 8 Charkarakas in the modern Gemini astrology. Who have written their dialogues or their interpretation of the Gemini astrology, the modern astrologers have taken 8 Charkarakas. But in the traditional Gemini astrology, the 7 Charkarakas are only there. And where this 1 Charkaraka's difference comes from is from the fact that the Gemini Rishi did not include Rahu as any of the Charkarakas. He believed that the major 7 planets are to be taken into consideration when you are discussing the Charkarakas. Now, there are 2 schools of thoughts in the modern astrology today. The first is of the Sir K.N. Rao. He has stressed that we should follow the 7 Charkaraka system, the traditional one. And then there is another school of thought of Dr. Sanjay Rath. He says that there should be 8 Charkarakas which should be taken into consideration, and the Rahu should also be given a position in the Charkarakas. Even he can be bestowed with the position of Atmakaraka as well. And I follow the Dr. Sanjay Rath school of thought because I believe that Rahu is very crucial planet in today's world, and we should always give it priority of everything which we are trying to analyze in our charts. So the 8 Charkarakas, I'll briefly give the names of the 8 Charkarakas and then we'll jump into discussing all of the Charkarakas as the lord of your Mahadasha. So there are 8 Charkarakas. The first is the Atmakaraka with the highest degree. The second is the Amatikaraka. The third is the Bhatrukaraka. The fourth is the Maitrikaraka. The fifth is the Pitrukaraka. Now this Pitrukaraka is missing in the 7 Charkaraka traditional Gemini astrology, but the modern astrologers have added a Pitrukaraka as well into the Charkaraka system. And then comes the Putrakaraka, then the Gyatikaraka, and then last is the Dharakaraka. So these are the 8 Charkarakas which are to be taken into consideration. Now what you will do is you take the degree of your Mahadasha planet in whatever Mahadasha you are running in. Let's say if you are running in the Jupiter's Mahadasha, and if Jupiter is sitting at 0 or 1 degrees in your chart, like it is having the smallest degree in your chart, then it qualifies as your Dharakaraka in your chart, and you are running through your Dharakaraka's Mahadasha. So we'll start the video now and we'll discuss all the Charkarakas as your Mahadasha planets. So let's start the video and let's dive in. Now if you are running into your Atmakaraka's Mahadasha, like if your Jupiter is at the highest degree and you are running in your Jupiter's Mahadasha, so the Atmakaraka is the Karaka of the first house. It represents the first house, it represents your soul, and it is the highest degree planet. So basically it has traversed the maximum portion of a particular house in your chart. So what does it represent is that it represents you, your body, your personality, your life's purpose, and all the first house karakas, like your presence on this planet Earth, your beliefs, your thinking, your perception about something. So now if you are running into this particular Mahadasha of the Atmakaraka, what you can see is that you can get into an identity crisis. Atmakarakas, this Mahadasha is more related to who am I, and finding the answer to this question, like re-evaluating your own personality, not your body, not your physical self. It's your inner self. Your physicality, your body, your physique is something different. It will be seen from a different lens, but your inner self, your personality, your beliefs, your perception, your mindset is something which Atmakarika presents in your life. And there has been cases where the Atmakarika's Mahadasha has given a complete repealing of all the old systems you were in, like your old career, your old public image, your old, whatever you have been doing till now. You would want to reassess it. You would want to reevaluate it so that you can make your life into a more meaningful thing. You grow your personality into something more meaningful. This is what Atmakarika's Mahadasha is. With this Atmakarika's Mahadasha, because you are delve in deep introspection about yourself, about your perception, about your mindset, what you can see is that you'll feel alone, isolated, because introspection is something of more of a isolated thing. You would want to reassess everything, which can only be done in isolation. Health issues can be there, but related to heart, back, or general vitality. Why? Because Sun is the natural Atmakaraka. Now, the goal for this Mahadasha is to, let your old self die and revamp yourself, re-evaluate yourself, and bring yourself, bring something of a more value in world's eyes. You tapping your maximum potential is something which this Mahadasha, which this Atmakarika requires you to do. Now, the Sun's placement, because it is the natural Atmakarika in your chart, and your this Atmakarika planet, whatever it is, their axis, their position, their sign, their house will play a major role in this thing, in this kind of a process. Sun will be acting as a catalyst because it is the natural Atmakarika, and your Lagnesh will also act as a catalyst for this process to happen smoothly. But the Atmakarika's Mahadasha is not a thing to worry about. You see, most of the people, they find their true self, their true path in the Atmakarika's Mahadasha. They think that whatever I was doing was okay till the time I have been enjoying it, but now it is the time to direct myself into something else. And it usually happens. People, whatever they have been doing till now, they replace their work, their career, their self into a more enhanced thing in the Atmakarika's Mahadasha. The Sun's placement and your Atmakarika's placement is very important. So for example, if Venus is your Atmakarika and it is enemy to Sun, so here is where you can see problem. Like, you would want to approach women, if you are a particular male, differently in your life, and the female authoritative people in your life, like the females holding authority in your life, can be a problem and they can create challenges in your life. Now, the Sun's placement in a particular house, in a particular sign is important. Venus's placement will also become important, and your Lagnesh's placement will also be a game changer in this whole saga. Why? Because if your Lagnesh is siding with the Venus, then Venus gets more power and Sun can be defeated, or the problems he'll create can be minimized. But if not, if your Lagnesh is supporting Sun, there is where you can see more hurdles coming in your way. But if your Ashtagwork supports your first house, your 10th house, your 5th and your 9th house are strong in your Ashtagwork, Venus has given good points in the 1st, 5th and 9th house, then this Atmakarika's Mahadasha is really something which you should look forward to. So this is how you will decode the Atmakarakas Mahadasha in your life. Now let's move forward. Let's talk about the Amatikarakas Mahadasha if you are running into that particular Mahadasha. Now if you are running in your Amatikarakas Mahadasha, that is if you are running in a Planets Mahadasha which is having the second highest degree in your chart. So let's say if you are a certain ascendant, and if your Saturn has the second highest degree in your chart, that becomes your Amatikaraka Saturn. And Saturn is your Mahadasha ruling planet also. So the Amatikarakas Mahadasha is something which you should relate to the 2nd and the 10th house. Amatikaraka is an important planet. It is the minister planet in your chart, in the planetary cabinet of your particular chart. The 2nd and 10th house are both activated. So Amatikaraka, it largely relates to profession. It is the representative of your profession. Now you'll have to see what kind of yogas are being formed in your 10th and in your 2nd house. So 2nd house in your chart, it rules money, family, speech, and the 10th house is all about the career, your karma, your fame, your stability at the career front in your life. Now what you will feel is, the first and the foremost thing is that you will feel exhausted and you will feel a pressure of work all time, all this Mahadasha. Now it can be anyone's Mahadasha, Moon's 10-year long period or Mars's 7-year long period. It can be any time frame, but what you'll feel is pressure at work because your Atmakaraka is nudging you to work, to burn out your energy in the 10th and the 2nd house. You might also have power struggles with bosses or within the family, because you see the karma of the 2nd and the 10th house are to be burned in this particular Amatikaraka's Mahadasha. So the 2nd house and the 10th house are at the target. You will also deal with a lot of stress and anxiety. Why? Because directly your 10th house is activated, and whatever planet and whatever sign is falling there, whatever planet is sitting there, it will be channelized. The energy there will be channelized, and whenever the 10th house is channelized, people feel exhausted and they feel stress and anxiety. Why? Because they are burning their karma. And to burn the karma, you need energy, which is to be derived from your inner self, from your inner discipline. The other thing is that what this Mahadasha is here for you is to give stress related problems, stomach issues or headaches. So this is something important in this Mahadasha. So this Mahadasha's goal is to earn you a position of your worth. Whatever karma and whatever efforts you have put in your life, is this Mahadasha is there for you to reach that apex in your life. It is a very good Mahadasha from the perspective if you are a workaholic, if you are a competitive spirit. If you are someone more of a spiritual, nurturing sort of a personality, this Mahadasha can be sometimes irritating. But that depends also on the nature of your Amatakarika as well. Now let's say if your moon is your Amatakarika, so your method of working will be very much related to moon. Maybe you are healing someone, maybe you are studying about medicine and you become a doctor. Those all things will also be present in your personality, in your life. The 10th house and the 2nd house become important. So let's say if your Saturn is your Amatikaraka and sitting in the 8th house of your horoscope, and it has its 3rd aspect on the 10th house itself. So what does it mean is that your Saturn is actually nudging you to either enhance your skills or either increase your efforts every time whenever you are working at your 10th house at your career front. Sitting in the 8th house, it is also aspecting the 2nd house. Saturn wants you to be more disciplined with your hoarded wealth, with your family, with your speech as well. So if you will not do these things, there is where the problem can be seen by you. But the Amatikarakas, the period Mahadasha is a struggling period if you are not aligning with the Karakas of the Amatikaraka. Also the sign and the house it is sitting in, also aspects it is having on itself. Now the earth tricone is activated in your chart with this particular Amatikaraka. The 2nd, 6th and 10th house are activated. 6th house also relates to the service, to the competitive exams people give in their life. So the Ashtag has to be seen, and it really has an importance about this Amatyakarika Mahadasha. So you should look your Amatyakarika where it has given maximum points in which house, and like to which Rashi falling in either the second or the sixth or the 10th house. There is also where you can get a hint where should you maximize your energy towards which house, either to the family, to the hoarded wealth, or the Amatyakarika has given you more points in the 6th house. So it is more towards having service, having a daily routine, having a good this competitive spirit, and working for the downtown section as well. Or if it has given the maximum points in the 10th house, there is where you can see that your energy at the work front, your karma, is something which is at the target and in this Mahadasha period. That's how you decode the Mahadasha of a particular planet as your Amatyakarika in your life. So let's move forward and let's understand the Mahadasha of a planet which is your Bhatrukarika. So now if you are running through your Bhatrikarika's Mahadasha, that is you are running through the planet's Mahadasha which is third highest degree, which is of third highest degree in your chart. So there is where your third house is actually activated in your chart. Now, no matter what planet is sitting in the third house, what sign is falling in the third house, the third house will give its effect. Now, this means that your courage, your skills, your younger siblings, your close friends are at the center of attraction. They are forming the center core of your life for these particular years in whatever planet's Mahadasha you are running into. Now, what does this planet want? This planet wants you to be in a need to fight for what you want. You see, you will have to give your Purusharth, your Parakram, your third house, your efforts to everything in your life in that particular period. Although in the traditional Charakarika system, the 9th house is also taken into consideration within the Bhatrikarika only. The third and the 9th house, the both are associated with the Bhatrikarika planet with the third highest degree in your chart. But in the 8 Charakarikas, because we have differentiated a Pitrukarka differently, the 9th house is not related to the Bhatrikarika. You can have problems with your siblings or with your neighbors or with your close friends. You will learn to be more determined, to be more brave in this period. Your health issues will revolve around arms, shoulders or throat. This particular period is to find your inner strength, to find your core effort, your core potential for your efforts, the limit you can put into something. That is what this planet represents. The planet's original natural tattva will also shape this Mahadasha. Like, let's say if your moon is your Bhatrikarika, you are more of a nurturer, healer sort of a personality. So your efforts would be more towards healing, to not fighting for the cause, for mitigating a war, working for the natural environment, working for nurturing something, nurturing plants, nursery or even children. So there is where your efforts will be seen in the particular thing. Now, the moon's placement in a particular house is also important, in a particular sign is also important, and you should always check the Ashtagvarg table in this format also. The moon, if the moon has given good marks in your third house, there is where the Parakram, your efforts you have put into certain thing, you will see the results. The Ashtagvarg table will tell you where your efforts are channelizing it towards, and the maximum points of the moon or whatever your Bhatrikarika is tells you will reap your results from there. So this is how you will see the thing. Like, if let's say if you are Leo rising and your sun is your Bhatrikarika, is your Lagnesh, so it's more like you are a personality filled with immense amount of effort in your life. You are more prone towards doing parakram, towards doing bravery and constant efforts in your life. Now, the point to be noted here is that sun gets debilitated in your third house. In the chart of the Leo risings, the Libra sign falls in the third house. There is where you will see the Ashtagvarg table, because the debilitation of sun indicates us that the efforts are immense. The amount of efforts are immense, but where are we reaping our results from? That will be dependent on the sign and the dispositor of that particular sign, where the sun, your Bhatrikarika, has given you maximum points. So this is how you will decode this particular Mahadasha in your life. The third house will be at the center of attraction. The third house will be in the limelight, and there is where your energy will be channelizing towards. The third house, your siblings, your younger siblings, your close friends, your efforts, your skills, your communication, technology, your way of writing things, your short trips. These all things will channelize something in your life always. The Mahadasha will revolve around the Karakas of the third house automatically. So this is how you decode the particular planet's Mahadasha as your Bhatri Karaka. So let's move forward and let's understand the Mahadasha of your Matri Karaka. If you are running in the Mahadasha of your Matri Karaka. Now Matri Karaka is the planet with 4th highest degree in your chart. Now what does this planet represents is your mother, your home, your emotional happiness, your comfort, basically your 4th house, your life's stability, the boundaries, the safe boundaries you are in, that is your home. You see, all these things are channelized in this Mahadasha. Now the thing is, the main pointers which you will see in this particular Mahadasha is your old family problems and secrets will come to surface. You'll have to deal with it. You'll have to either solve it or fight against the injustices which were done in the past. You might also have issues with property or your home. Now the property issues, will they be the major thing in your this whole Mahadasha or not? That will depend on the planet, the dispositor of your 4th house, the planet ruling your 4th house and its dignity in your chart. You will also process childhood emotions as well. Now are these emotions in happier dimension or not? That will depend on your whole chart, on your whole working, but your childhood emotions will be triggered or they will be channelized in some way, in either of the way, when you are running through this Mahadasha. Health problems, they will be more related to chest, lungs or emotions, or sometimes mental anxiety or stress. So the moon here is important because it is the natural ruler of the 4th house in a Kalpurusha's Kundalini. And your Matra Karakas, that particular planet is also important. Its degree, its placement is also important, where it is placed in your chart. Now the main motive, the main goal of this Mahadasha is to heal your family's wounds, your family's past hurdles, and you have to find your emotional stability in yourself. Whatever things you have been through all these years, all this life, you will have to deal with everything because you have buried them in your subconscious. There is where the problem can arise from. You'll have to take out each one of them and deal with it more maturely. This is what this Matrikarika suggests. Also, the major events will be happening with your mother or your caretaker or your parents as a whole entity, and your homeland, your this motherland thing. Either you will go away from your motherland or you will come back to your motherland. That is something which you see in this particular period. Also, there are cases where I have seen that the particular this Matrikarika was not in relation to the original 4th house lord, whatever it is in your chart. There is where the problem can be created and it can also be mitigated, but for that the chart has to be seen and you'll have to analyze the whole chart in its true form. The other thing is that you'll also have to check the Ashtakvar table. Now the Matrikarika has given how many points in the 4th house, and where it has given the maximum points and the least points are the areas which you will have to target. These are the areas, so the least points are the areas where the problems can arise in your life. The maximum points of the Matrikarika in a particular house, in a particular sign, suggest that there is where your results, your positive results or your negative results will be felt by you, and dignity and the strength of the 4th house in respect to this Mahadasha Lord, in respect to this Matrikarika, will be seen through the points it has given you in the 4th house itself. Also, it's a relationship with your 4th Lord, and the dignity it has, the dignity the 4th Lord has to be taken into consideration, but at a large level The Matrikarika's Mahadasha is more towards the 4th house, is more towards stability, finding comfort, prosperity in your life. If your Matrikarika is normally placed in your chart, that is what it suggests, that either in the first half of this whole Mahadasha period, you will go through these struggles, and in the second half, there is where you can expect good results out of this particular Charakarika. So that is how you decode the Mahadasha of a particular planet as your Matrikarika. So now when you are running into your Pitrukaraka's Mahadasha, that is, you are running into a planet's Mahadasha which is of 5th highest degree in your chart. So basically it suggests that your 9th house, Pitrukarika, it defines your 9th house, your father is activated. Your fortune, your father, your luck, your religion, your beliefs, your higher studies also, these all things are activated in your chart, in your life. Now during its dasha, what you will see is that you learn lessons about your beliefs. You believe that you are the righteous one, you are this flag bearer of morale. There is where you will find yourself that you are not completely aware of everything in this world. Your beliefs will be shattered, they will be rebuilt as well. You see, this is where the transformation will be felt in your 9th house. You may also have challenges with the living karikas of the 9th house, that is your father, or with a guru, that is your mentor or your teacher. So the 9th house people are there to actually activate the trigger, the problems in your life, but they will also be the savior for you in this whole Mahadasha, because the pattern of transformation comes from the similar thing. Your luck will also be tested in this Mahadasha, because the 9th house is also represents luck, and your Pitrukaraka is also the lucky factor in your chart, whatever the planet might be. It can also be Saturn. If your Pitrukaraka is Saturn, so what it suggests is that your efforts, your hard work, your discipline is actually your luck. There is where your luck is locked. The health issues in this Mahadasha can be related to hips, thighs, or digestion, or with imbalance also. If you are a fiery ascendant, that is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, main goal for this Mahadasha will be to develop your own thought process, to develop your own philosophy, wisdom about life. Try to explore the world through your particular lens of beliefs, of thinking, of wisdom, because the original 9th house is also ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the Karaka of wisdom, not intelligence. Intelligence is governed by Mercury, not Jupiter. So there is where you will feel the wisdom gushing in. Now the wisdom can be in both the terms. Either your false beliefs will be shattered completely and the new ones will be built, or your beliefs, if they are righteous and you are on the correct path, they will get more stabilized and more stronger in your life. So this is how you will decode the Pitrukaraka's Mahadasha in your life. Now the particular Pitrukaraka, the planet, and its natural ability, its natural color is also there to be analyzed. If you are a certain rising and if you have your Mercury as your Pitrukaraka, so what it suggests is that your intelligence will connect with your wisdom. So you'll be more mindful of your speech, you'll be more mindful of your calculation, of your business interests, of your service, and all these things. Now it will also define which Rashi, which sign is falling in the 9th house, and where its dispositor is placed, where the 9th lord is placed in your which house of your D1 chart. But at a large, this Mahadasha will directly impact your 9th house, directly impact your fortune, directly impact your luck. The fortune building can also be seen in this Karaka. Pitrukaraka also represents ancestral flame. So maybe if you are inheriting ancestral curse, you can see instability in your 9th house, and if you are inheriting ancestral blessing, there is where the things will fall in place for you and everything will work out in your life. Also, to analyze this Mahadasha, you can also check the Ashtagura table, where the Pitrukaraka has given you least marks, where it has given the maximum marks, and what kind of marks it has given in the ninth house itself. There is where you get to know the big picture, where I have to put my efforts in, or the problems where it can arise from are the sign and the house. The Pitrukarka has given least marks in Ashtaka table, where it can, my results can be felt in this Mahadasha is the house and the sign where the Pitrukarka has given maximum points, and ninth house should also be analyzed. So Ashtaka points for the ninth house given by the Pitrukarka is important. Now, if your Pitrukarka is Rahu, you'll say that in Ashtak table, Rahu is not taken into consideration. So, you cannot check if your Rahu is Pitrukarka, how is it performing in a particular, this ninth house, in your particular ninth house. So, what you can do is check the dispositor of Rahu. Which planet is the dispositor of Rahu and what points it has given in the ninth house, and least points, its maximum points. There is where you will get the big picture out of this particular Mahadasha and placement. So that is how you decode your particular planet's Mahadasha as your Pitrukarka. So let's move forward and let's understand the Putrakarka's Mahadasha. So when you are running through a particular planet's Mahadasha and it is your Putrakarka, that is, it is the planet with 6th highest degree in your chart. So there is where you will feel that the 5th house in your life is activated. So the 5th house Karakas like children, creativity, intelligence, politics, performing arts, and Sun, basically, because Sun is the natural ruler of the 5th house, is at the center of attraction. All of these things will be in the limelight. Your life will revolve around it. Also speculative gains if you are into stock markets or trading and crypto and Bitcoin. Although crypto and Bitcoin are more related to Rahu, but basically stock markets. So during its dasha, what you can see is that you'll face challenges about having all the 5th house karakas, like having children or your relationship with them, your romantic relationships as well, you doing creativity, you performing in performing arts or stage arts, basically like acting, singing, dancing, etc., or you going into politics or working with authoritative people in your life. You will see challenges there, that is for sure. The other thing in this Mahadasha which you can expect is that you might experience creative blocks sometime, or you might feel if your career is directly related to the 5th house, that there is a period of stagnation in your life. There is where these things will unravel. Now, it will also depend on the particular Putrakarka, the planet which you have Putrakarka as. Is it supportive to your Lagnesh or to your Atmakarika or not? That will actually define this ups and downs in this particular Mahadasha. Your investments may not work out during this Mahadasha, that is for sure, because the Putrakarka is there to teach you the lessons about the 5th house, because the 5th house is in limelight, is at the center of stage. So you'll learn about 5th house. Your creative projects might not work. Your the things which you are investing in, they might not work. Maybe it is whatever it is, mutual funds, stocks, crypto, Bitcoin, whatever it is, they might not work. And especially after the maturity of this particular planet, which is your Mahadasha Lord, there is where you can see wisdom coming in to your life, into your personality, related to the 5th house, related to having children, related to doing creativity, politics, stage performances, etc. The 5th house karakas and the wisdom will be gained by that particular thing. The aspects on your Putra karaka, the sign it is placed in, house it is placed in, will also lay an impact on this whole Mahadasha. So the health issues which you can feel in this which you can face in this Mahadasha can revolve around heart, stomach or reproductive systems, because the Putra Karaka is directly related to progeny or digestive issues, because Putra Karaka's major Karaka in Nadi astrology is Jupiter. So that is also how, you see these all things are interrelated, and when you try to analyze a chart, you'll get to know that because of these things my Mahadasha has been through this particular stages of my life. I have seen these things happening because of these particular things, because of these particular combinations. So this is how you will see this thing, unraveling in your chart, in your life. So the goal of this Mahadasha, to learn to love without conditions, the first thing, and the other thing is to create something that truly matters, not for you, but for the world as well. You see, now the fifth house, the 11th from the fifth house is the third house. The third house is also where your skills and your efforts are related to. Third from the third house is the fifth house. It is the implementation of the skill. So basically what it suggests is you can create anything. Basically, if you are creating a software, if you're creating a painting, if you're creating a movie, if you're creating a child, whatever you create should truly matter, not just for you but for the world, a couple of other people as well. This is what Pitrukarka is here to make you understand in its Mahadasha. Now the planet's position, the planets sitting in a particular sign. The other thing is that what you can see is the fifth house, the fifth lord dignity, and the fifth house's condition will also play a major role in this Mahadasha. So basically your fifth house is activated, your sun is also activated. Wherever your sun is placed, your Jupiter is also activated, because Jupiter is the natural karaka of child, Putra, the fifth house. The other thing which you will see is the Ashtakvar table. Jump into your Ashtakvar table and see where this planet has given you least marks, maximum marks, and what kind of marks it has bestowed you in the fifth house. From there you will get to know what are the areas you should channelize your energy into, are the least points it has given to that particular house and that particular sign. The maximum marks of this Pitrukarka is where you will see the results coming in from. You see the results coming in from, and the gains you will get out will be the points. It has given the maximum points in your Ashtakvar table in that particular house and sign. And the fifth house, the Pitrukarka's points given in the fifth house are also to be analyzed to check what kind of efforts you will put into your this fifth house in this particular Mahadasha. Because the fifth house is also the ancestral house, so the ancestral thing will also be activated in this whole period of this particular planet. And whatever your ancestral debt is, either in the form of blessing or in the form of curse, it will also manifest in this Mahadasha. So this is how you will decode a particular planet Mahadasha, which is Pitrukarka, in your chart. So let's move forward and let's understand the Mahadasha of your Gyati Karak. When you are running into your Gyati Karaka's Mahadasha, that is, you are running into the Mahadasha of the planet which is at the second lowest degree in your chart. So your Gyati Karaka is actually related to strife, poverty, disease and all of these things, but we'll try to figure it out more technically. What does it represent? Gyati Karaka is related to all the three bhav, 6th, 8th and 12th. So the 6th house, is, as you all know, is related to disease, enemies, deaths. 8th house is of the basic, suddenness, changes, transformations, hidden things like hidden events which you might not know, the unpredictable thing in your life. And the 12th house is more about losses, foreign land, isolation, and private rooms and all of these things in your life. Now the Gyati Karaka's basic need is to tickle that curiosity you have. Everyone has curiosity in themselves. Someone has for something, the other one has about something else. You see, so the curiosity point and potential is where the Gyati Karaka will tap you. So the main things which you will feel and which you will face during its Mahadasha, during Gyati Karaka's Mahadasha, are that you will face hidden enemies, health issues. You may have financial problems and losses. It can be a time of isolation or hospitalization as well in your chart if it is promised. Health issues can also be there related to digestion, injuries or chronic illnesses can also be there. But because the 8th, 6th and 12th, all the houses are activated, So what it represents is, if it is all bad, then why is this Gyati Karika related to wisdom? It is because all of these houses are only involved making Vipreet Raj Yoga, and which is the most important Raj Yoga after Nijbhang Raj Yoga. I consider it to be the most important. Why? Because the Vipreet Sthiti, that is, the problems in your life, are the major catalyst for your transformation, are the major catalyst for your growth, for your, you to reach the apex in your life. So when all of these three houses are activated in your life, there is where you will feel that a kind of Vipreet Rajyog is activated and is running in your life. Now, if your 6th house, 8th house and 12th houses condition is very well placed, then this can really be a major life-changing period for you. People will say it's all negative, it's all problematic, and it's all deaths and problems, diseases, suddenness. It's not so, because you do not know what things universe has packed for you, in what kind of way, in what kind of, in what form. You don't know that. And when all of these things will be unpacked, there is where you'll get the whole picture out of it. So the 6th, 8th and 12th houses, this Mahadasha, is not to worry. Actually, you should be more looking forward to it. Why? Because the positive karikas of the 6th, 8th and 12th house are the only karikas which can give you a Rajyog sthiti in your life, which can take you to apex in your life. And what is it? The 6th house is majorly related to daily routine. If you are not in a schedule, you will never get success in your life. Positive karikas of 6th house are actually your schedule, your daily routine. If you are into a strict daily routine, your success is definitely guaranteed. The second thing is service. You are into this kind of a service or job which you are actually paying attention to, and you are you are giving yourself, your total self to it. There is where your heights and your gains are awaiting for you. Also, the 6th house represents your cousins, your maternal uncles, aunts, and your maternal family, your mother side family. So this also shows that your mother side's family will help you a lot in its Gyati Karakas Mahadasha. If your 6th lord is well placed, the thing is that what you'll see is that your 6th house, your mother's family, is there to help you always. You'll feel the problems are there, some or the other, but at large they were there to comfort you. The 8th house is more of astrology, mysticism, the positive karakas of research, artificial intelligence, also suddenness and transformation. Transformation is important for you to grow. You see, this is how you can unpack and decode this whole Mahadasha. The 12th house is a foreign land. Now, a person who wants to go into a foreign land, who wants to get displaced out of his homeland, it is very good for him. Also, the 12th house represents your maternal grandfather and your paternal grandmother. So maybe these are the two people who would have done something in your this Gyati Karakas Mahadasha, or they were the people who were directly related to your problems, your either problems or your gains, your positives. So basically, what your Gyati Karaka is here to deal with, and its period is for you, the goal is to overcome your weaknesses, to forgive your old debts, and you find liberation. You are moving towards a more complete person in your life. You are strengthening yourself from inside. Also, if you have a Vipreet Rajyog in your chart, there is also where you will feel this Gyati Karakas Mahadasha was not as bad as other Karakas Mahadasha, because you will learn from the fallouts, from the problems, from the downs in your life, and you will rise higher. So that is how you will decode this Gyati Karakas Mahadasha in your life. Let's move forward and let's understand the Mahadasha of your Dara Karaka. So when you are running through the Mahadasha of the planet, which is the Dara Karaka in your chart, that is the planet with the lowest degree in your chart. So basic thing is that with this Dara Karakas Mahadasha, your 7th house will be activated. And 7th house governs the marriage, business partnership, and all relationships, and all kind of handshakes you do in your life. So this is what the seventh house is. Now what you can expect out of this Mahadasha is, this is often a very struggle heavy period. Why? Because seventh house is original a Maraka house, and a Maraka house is activated. Although in the Amatikarikas Mahadasha also a Maraka house, that is the second house, is activated, but in that 10th house is also activated along with the second house. So it balances out itself, because 10th house is a Vachya house. But in the Darakarikas Mahadasha, only 7th house is activated. So yes, there will be struggles in your life. All your partnerships and your relationships will come up. You will come across people, you will build relationships with them. There can be breakups as well, marriages as well, and if your chart has promised the event of divorce, that can also happen. Now this Karikas Mahadasha is like, if you are married, your partner will act like a mirror, showing you the parts of yourself you need to work on. Or if you are not married and you are a single person, so there is where the the events will happen, and the downfalls in your life will happen, where you'll feel that yes, there are problems in myself, in my body, in my physique, and I have to work on them. The health issues can be there in the Karikas Mahadasha. They can be related to either kidneys, lower back, or the planet itself, whatever is your Darakarika. The sun is your Darakarika, your vitalities, like your immune system or your vitality, your heart, stomach, your digestive system can also face health issues. Majorly, I have seen people, if they are running through their Darakarikas, this Mahadasha, and if their Lagnesh is not well placed, if their Lagn is not good, or altogether the Darakarica is strongly placed in the chart, there will be some kind of diseases. But will these diseases be life threatening or not? That will depend on the placement of your Darakarica, in what sign and in what house it is placed in. So the thing is that you should not be scared from the diseases, from the problems in your life. Why? Because the seventh house, the original seventh house ruler is Venus. Its moon trikon sign falls there, Libra. And Venus is also the Karika of healing. So rejuvenation and recovery will be there, and you will come out of it. So this is how you will see the Darakarikas, this Mahadasha. The goal of this Mahadasha is to clear your relationship karma and to connect with people in a more healthy way. That you are altogether a new personality, you are more adjusting, you are more humble, you are more down to earth, and because you have learned your lessons, you have reshaped your personality into something better. So struggles will be there in this Darakarikas Mahadasha, that is for sure, and those struggles are actually necessary, because I have also been through my Darakarikas Mahadasha, and yes, I faced struggles too. Although none of my plants were activated, so I was not adult that time, but the Darakarikas lessons will be unfolded in the desired way it has packed for you particularly. So that is something you should not be afraid of. You should look forward, because you are the fighter, you are the warrior, and you will have to steer through the problems to build yourself into more healthier and more confident being. The particular planet as a Darakarika will also impact this whole technical analysis. You can also see the 7th house lord, where it is placed, and the 7th house's condition, what it says about the Darakarika. Is it giving more power to your Darakarika or to your Lagnesh or your Atmakarika? There is where you can also see the struggles. Will there be immense struggles or not? The other thing is that you can also check the Ashtakvar table, what kind of marks and points the Darakarika has given in your 7th house, and in what house it has given maximum marks, and in what house it has given least marks. So from there you will get to know what is the area which you have to work on, and where is the area where the results of your efforts will be reflected. And the 7th house in itself, what the Darakarika is saying there, is it relationship karma or something else? So all of these things will be, you will get more clarity on all of these things through Ashtagvar table. So you should always refer to your Ashtagvar table whenever you are analyzing the 8 char karikas. So that is how you decode the Mahadasha through the 8 Charakarikas of Gemini astrology. This is my personal technique which I love to use in most of my readings, and it has also given me fantastic results every time I use it. You also use this technique in your particular charts, and comment down in the comment section below how were your experiences related to this particular technique, which Charakarika it is in your chart, and what kind of experiences you are running through in your life. So do not forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family. Do not forget to subscribe Galactic Echoes Astrology for more such quality content about astrology. Thank you.